It is Ireland against Argentina at the magnificent Adelaide Oval to decide who goes through to face with the cup holders, Australia. They're waiting for them in the quarterfinals. What a great sight. A packed stadium, and to join our commentators, Jamie Salmon and Mark Robson.
Well, let's hope it's not too much screaming from the Irish by the end of this game. It's 3/4 emerald, the Adelaide Oval, and 3,000 Irish fans have travelled to this South Australian city. Although by closing time last night, I don't think of any of them knew if they were in Adelaide, Athenry or Auchnacloy. The Argentinians were judging the Miss Backpacker competition last week in Sydney. Well, the whole of Ireland hopes they'll be packing their kit tonight and slinging their tucker bags back to Buenos Aires. Jamie Salmon alongside me. Jamie, we've been talking long and hard about this Irish side that Eddie O'Sullivan has picked. And do you feel he's made an error of judgment?
Well, time will tell, Mark. Certainly there's been a lot of question marks about it. I just hope he hasn't picked a side to combat Argentina's tactics, and I hope he would concentrate more on his own, and the fact that the ball should go much wider than the rucks and mauls and the scrums to make these rather ponderous and ageing Argentinian forwards work a lot harder across the pitch. I just hope Ireland don't get sucked into a forward battle, because then I think they'll be in big trouble, and I think the front five have got a scrummage like never before.
Well, this is a cricket ground, of course, and the wicket in the middle looking a little green today, as is the crowd. It's really a baby Lansdowne, isn't it, Jamie? And that's going to so lift this Irish team as we look at the William Webb Ellis Trophy and the arrival of this Argentinian team. Ireland and Argentina have met on 10 occasions. It's 5-4 to the men in green with one draw, but that defeat in '99, well, it was the beginning almost of the successful rebuild in Irish rugby. Victory for Argentina helped make the sport a much more fashionable mainstream game in their country. Now this Argentina team, I think as Francois mentioned, Rolando Martin hasn't looked good so far, and I thought he was a distinct weakness against the Australians, and maybe an area where Ireland might be able to expose the Argentinians.
Well, that's what I mean by hopefully changing the point of attack to wider out, to make Martin go much wider, and therefore challenge his fitness and make these big burly forwards get across the field.
Augustin Pichot is the captain at scrum half. Pichot declared fit, but quite late on, because he's been suffering from a fever for the past few days, as we look at Ignacio Corletto. But did you feel this Argentinian side played to full potential in their opening big game against Australia? Have they perhaps lost their peak a little bit since the great wins over France during the summer?
Well, I think they have, but this is an occasion which is make or break. If they lose this one, they're back in Buenos Aires by the middle of next week.
Well, listen to the reception for this Irish team. It's like someone's lifted Ireland 12,000 miles and dropped it on the other side of the globe. Well, there's the Irish side, and that talking point, of course, is the back row. It's not quite as weird as the combination of Nicole Kidman and Lenny Kravitz, but Quinlan and Easterby has caused raised eyebrows. The back line is the one that began against Romania, with Humphreys getting the nod over O'Gara. The important John Hay starts at tight head, but is he fully match fit? Keith Wood is the captain now with 9 shoulder operations to his name. It's another interesting selection with Felipe Contepomi at inside centre. Their most exciting back, Martin Guaita, is left out. He's on the bench. Ireland's 99 nemesis, Albanese, is on the wing. Mendes returns the hook, no surprise. But Rolando Martin, who looked off the pace against Australia, wins his 87th cap.
The choir will now perform the international rugby anthem of Ireland and the national anthem of Argentina.
We have come to answer our country's call.
some atmosphere here, I can tell you. So as the formalities draw to a close, we wait for the action to begin. Andre Watson is your referee today. He handled the 1999 Rugby World Cup final. It's going to be a rip-roaring, rip-snorting encounter, blood and brains game. It's got to be physical, but it's got to be smart too, Jamie Salmon.
No, certainly has. There's no point just having full-on aggression without thinking about it. And thinking about the key decisions you've got to make in this game. Aggression gets you so far, but also the mental capability is vitally important in an encounter such as this.
David Humphreys gets Ireland underway, defending the Sir Donald Bradman stand end. And it's a first touch. Victor Costello wearing the black gloves. Victor Costello drives hard. Just inside the Irish half. Stringer waits. This is David Humphreys, ready, moving the ball wide. This is Brian O'Driscoll, who will be heavily marked in that midfield. The tackle comes in from Martin. Stringer back to Humphreys, just inside his 22. A big hoof from Humphreys, and that's a confidence-building beginning for the out half.
It most certainly is. It's worth adding that what win there is here today is with the Irish team this half, so they've got to use that and use it cleverly. A lot of weight on Humphreys' shoulders to make the right decisions.
Mario Ledesma has been horrendous at number 2 for Argentina in this World Cup. They brought in the hugely experienced Federico Mendes, and I have to find their men in the line-out today, and they've done it first time. Bringing down the ball, the advantage goes to Argentina. Pichot chips it through, but no advantage.
You on the legs, stay up, please.
Well, the Irish won't be surprised by those tactics from Argentina. Catch and drive will be the order of the day from the line-outs. They're certainly not going to spread it wide. The strength of this side is in the first 10 players, really. Although Felipe Contepomi at inside centre today will obviously have a decision-making role to play. There's Quesada, the number 10, brought in, didn't play against Australia a couple of weeks ago, probably for his goal-kicking expertise, I suspect.
Well, he scored 23 points against Ireland in Lens in 1999. He, along with Albanese, was the nemesis for this Irish side. Pichot scrapes the ball out, and it's flicked forward there by Roberto Grau, the former Sarries prop. Now it's Quesada, and coming into the line is Corletto. Corletto tackled by Peter Stringer. Ball is out, play on, says the referee. This is Rolando Martin. Has more caps than any other Argentinian, 87 now, as they rumble forward towards the edge of the 22. Pichot to Quesada, and they're going to try and move it wide here. The tackle coming in on Contepomi in midfield. But it's good rugby so far by Argentina here. That's Victor Costello getting his hands all over Felipe Contepomi, who played so well against France in the summer. And Martin, that's a bit static, taking it standing still as the cragged old veteran. Quesada. Back goes Horgan. And gets the touchdown.
Well, good ball retention from Argentina, but by the third or fourth phase, they were running out of ideas. That should encourage Ireland. Their first up tackling was good. That's one of the other reasons they picked Quinlan and Easterby in the back row to make those big tackles round the fringes. But they made Argentina think and try and be creative, and they didn't come up with the goods.
Yes, we saw that as soon as Martin became involved. That's taken by Gonzalo Longo, the huge rampaging number 8 for Argentina, and he's certainly rampaging there. Sets a good platform. Pick up and drive by Loba. Now it's the tight head prop, Reggiardo. Pichot, Quesada. Now using the prop forward there as a runner. That was Roberto Grau, but he was well knocked back, and John Hayes was in there with a tackle. Here's Quesada again. It's the up and under. Oh, that's a difficult one for Dempsey, but beautifully taken. Beautifully taken.
Take the mark in the air. Go back.
It was,
just get out of here.
and the Irish forwards not at all happy with the tackle made on Dempsey. He's in the air. You're not allowed to touch the player in the air. So penalty to Ireland. It may be a bit painful at the moment, but he'll be very happy to catch that one. You can see the Irish players not at all enamoured with the way he was taken out.
Yeah, it's about as much fun as catching a hand grenade just after they've taken the pin out, isn't it? When you've got the Argentinian pack and back steaming towards you. They are explosive, but Dempsey did well under the high ball there.
Contepomi was the culprit. His brother did the same thing against Australia 2 weeks ago, if you might remember, and got a yellow card for the same incident.
Rolando Martin is out of this line, and he's standing in midfield.
7, get back in.
Get back in there, says Andre Watson.
Adjust now, fellas. Adjust now. That's fine. 5.
Shaven headed. Back in the 87 test matches. Mendes, he goes to the tail. It's taken by Longo. Longo will he do anything to get the ball back there? In rather unique fashion on that occasion. Pichot, Quesada, and another belligerent drive into midfield by Loba.
No.
And they're going to get a penalty out of it.
Remember that 2 is fine. 2 is fine. Guy from the side, come through the gate.
Coming in from the side, and Quesada, it's right in front of the post. It is into the slight breeze, but it's the first opportunity for the Argentinians here.
Yes, I think it was Simon Easterby who penalised coming in from the side.
Yeah, I pointed.
But this is obviously in Quesada's range, of that there is no doubt. And he is a very dangerous customer when it comes to kicking at goal. This is his great pride and joy. He is very meticulous in his preparation. Has it timed in practice. You're only allowed 60 seconds in which to take the kick. And I think the rule was brought in to him in the last World Cup, if I remember rightly.
That's correct. It used to take him 90 seconds to get enough focus and concentration, but he says he now packs the same amount of concentration into less time, so he just thinks more quickly.
But Keith Wood should be saying to his troops, first up tackling is good, lads. We're making them think, we're making them go through 4 or 5 phases. That's fine for Ireland. They can't obviously give away half a dozen penalties in the process, but at the moment, okay.
does take the full minute, doesn't he, Quesada? But he is a wonderful goal kicker. He was the top point scorer in the 1999 Rugby World Cup with 102, and he's now got 24 in this competition. But Ireland really have hardly seen the ball so far.
And interestingly, 7-8 minutes gone, no scrums as yet. And something that Argentina will be looking forward to, I suspect.
Quesada. Yes, the Argentinian front row looks like it's escaped from Jurassic Park, and I wouldn't like to take them on.
There's a long queue. Wait your turn.
Keith Wood, plenty of options in this Irish line-out. That's Paul O'Connell, who will be jumping at the front. Malcolm O'Kelly behind him. Alan Quinlan can jump too. And there'll be a lot of shuffling about. There already is. And it goes to the tail. And it goes to Quinlan. Now it's Stringer to David Humphreys. Kevin Maggs. Dennis Hickey off the left wing, who's been a superb player for Ireland since his return from injury. Stringer to Humphreys. Now it's Quinlan. Trying to set that ball back for Stringer. And there it is. Now it's David Humphreys once again. Trying to check, trying to find that gap. He's got support from O'Connell. This is better from Ireland. Stringer waits. And Stringer using the blind side. David Humphreys, one for Horgan to chase. Back goes Corletto for Argentina. And it's good work by the fullback, just letting it roll away so that his side will get the throw-in to the line-out.
Well played, David Humphreys, putting the pressure on deep in the Argentinian 22. And actually Corletto nearly got a hand to it, which would have been even more perfect for Ireland. O'Driscoll giving him a reminder. Pressure on Mendes now.
Federico Mendes, Gonzalo Longo. They used him a lot in this opening phase of the game. Argentina, 4 line-outs to Ireland's 1. That's good work from John Hayes. He's good in there. That muscular Greco-Roman wrestling type close-hand combat.
Although Quesada cleared only to his own 22, so Ireland throw. Tactically, I think Humphreys is getting it right. They're moving it away from the contact areas, and I think that's Ireland's best chance of getting good secondary phase ball.
Shane Horgan's come in off the right wing. They might use him in the burst, but now it's Keith Wood on the inside. Good ball retention there by Ireland. Peter Stringer, Shane Horgan is still in midfield, so they've got big numbers and big men to use. Peter Stringer, and it's Brian O'Driscoll in the line. O'Driscoll through.
Didn't like it, does he? Not the right option.
He knew it almost as soon as he dropped the ball to his foot that it wasn't the right thing to do. Ireland could have continued to recycle there. It was good ball. Now they're going to give it away probably to this Argentinian line-out. Mendes throwing in so far has been accurate. Longo once more. Good challenge by O'Kelly, but it's a completely different looking line-out to the one that Argentina presented to us against Australia when Ledesma had such a nightmare.
Argentina so far getting it right, although Quesada had to get down on bended knee for that one. But found his touch, that's all you can ask for. Good pressure by Easterby. Stringer.
That's well taken. And again now in midfield. Kevin Maggs, and he does well. Kevin Maggs gets some hard yards gained for Ireland here. Now perhaps a chance. Quinlan comes in. Support from O'Kelly. Quick ball Ireland won here. Inside the 22. Dempsey. Brian O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll is tackled by his opposite number, Jose Arengo. It's a good spell of rugby by the Irish. Ball was out. Peter Stringer. David Humphreys. Costello, former Olympic shot putter. He gains a metre or two. Stringer again to David Humphreys, and David Humphreys tries to check. The tackling's good this time from the Puma defence, but they are building the phases here now, Ireland. That's O'Connell.
You've got to stay patient, don't rush it.
Keith Wood, and he's been turned. Argentina should win this ball back, and they've done it. It's Augusto Pichot. And that will be hugely disappointing there for Ireland. Only themselves to blame, really. Keith Wood going down, facing the Argentinian defence. And really, from that position, he had little chance of retaining the ball.
Yes, Keithwood going in. Just gets turned there. Although the ball was coming out the Irish way, the Argentinian forwards had the momentum. And they cleared their lines. And to be fair to Argentina, good defence.
O'Connell wins the ball off the top for Ireland. Here's Maggs, who's on a very good start, Kevin Maggs, and Martin again. He looks like a weakness, looks like he's half a yard too slow, as the old flanker. That's Shane Horgan. And Gervin Dempsey clears the ball out. There's no scrum half at the moment. They need Stringer. There he is now, Stringer. Keithwood again. John Hayes, his doppelganger, goes in to help. Driscoll standing it out half, but Argentina again have turned over possession. Here's Pichot, and the Irish defence was all pushed up in attack, if you like, to use an Irish phrase, and Dennis Hickey has to run back. That's twice in a row now they've lost good ball.
Pity. Pichot knows how to take advantage of those sorts of situations. From a period of pressure in and around the Argentinian 22. There it is there. Lover was the man diving on the ball to secure possession.
There was a fear before the game amongst the Irish support that the Irish might, in the end, if they lose the match, beat themselves, and that was poor hands. You know, it's an unnecessary error, unforced error.
But I like the way Ireland are going a bit wider. Maggs looks dangerous. I think they're attacking Contepomi and Orengo in midfield. And they feel they've got a weakness there, Argentina, so they've attacked it well, got over the gain line. That's all you can ask.
Well taken by Malcolm O'Kelly, as Orengo's not the biggest centre in the world, not known for his abrasive defence.
Legs off the leg. No legs, number 3.
And it was Reggiardo lifting a leg, and that's dangerous in a ball situation. Could have collapsed them all. So that's a penalty to Ireland, which David Humphreys will take to relieve little pressure.
Have we had a scrum yet? I don't think we've still had a scrum. 14 minutes into the game, which is very late in the day for the first scrummage. I don't think we've had one.
I think that's pretty good news for Ireland. If there isn't one during the whole match, that will do.
Well, to be fair, it shows also the ball retention skills have been good, and there hasn't been crooked throws into the line out, that sort of thing. So the game's got great momentum at the moment because of that.
But this time it's Rob Quesada. Sliced that one, yeah, not so good from Gonzalo Quesada. Disappointing for Argentina, having snatched the ball again from this Irish side.
Yes, that's the result for Ireland. Keithwood can atone for that one that wasn't really in his favour.
Towards O'Kelly, but it's another poor line out from Ireland. They're looking a bit more like Argentina did against Australia. That's not a good pass from Contepomi. It was Nunes Piasek who picked the ball up in the right wing position. Now Albanese, they want to get back at him for what he did in Lens 4 years ago, scoring the solitary try of that game. Now it's Reggiardo. Pichot, Quesada, just outside the 22. Dempsey. Time to think. Didn't think too clearly.
Pity, it was a poor kick by Quesada. This is the run of Albanese. He beat a couple before Driscoll and O'Kelly brought him to ground.
It's Ireland against these belligerent Pumas, all claws and snarling teeth. It's what we expected. It's taken well at the front by Alvarez. Roberto Grau, a lot of experience in Premiership rugby in England. Tries to drive it forward. A little bit of locomotion there in that Argentinian ball. Alvarez steps over the ball. Pichot to Quesada. This is Contepomi. It's Martin in midfield. Tackled by Maggs. Quesada, Contepomi caressing the ball through, but it's Dempsey across. Huge distance on that is Gervin Dempsey. That is a cracking kick. And Alvarez, the second row forward, deciding was probably the better option not to go for touch himself. And again, The ball still in play. David Humphries. Nunez, Piasek underneath it. It was Dennis Hickey who put the kick in, and Nunez Piasek has knocked forward, and we're going to have a scratch.
We are. Thankfully he's knocked forward for Ireland's sake, I think.
No, then do something about it.
Pichot having word with the referee because he was playing advantage for an Argentinian penalty a few moments ago, which was, I thought, within kicking range for Quesada.
He's going to need some stitches.
Dennis Hickey, Ireland's record try scorer now, passing previous record holder, which was of course Brian O'Driscoll. John Hayes going off for blood, and it is quite a lot of blood, it looks like. Well, he'll be back on. You don't want to lose him. I think if John Hayes were to go off at this stage, Ireland would be in serious trouble, but they've lost him at a crucial moment, the first scrummage of the match, and Marcus Horan has to come on to face the might of the not too attractive Roberto Grau, Federico Mendes and Reggie Ardo.
Well, I hope somebody goes and gets another shirt for John Hayes as well, because the referee will insist on his shirt being changed as well if you don't want to take up too much more time than necessary. They've got to wait till the referee says engage, and Andre Watson will be very meticulous about that aspect of play.
Well, watching this first scrummage with great fascination.
Get closer.
Just to see how competitive Ireland could be with John Hayes off the pitch, and Corrigan has had to move across to tight head. He is versatile, Reggie Corrigan, in the front row. They want the ball in and away, I think, Ireland. Pick up by Costello, Pichot with the tackle. Malcolm O'Kelly rips it away. Peter Stringer down the blind side, but there was no room down there at all. It was the tightest of alleyways.
Well, the scrum wheeled towards the touchline, so there's precious room to work in. Stringer's not going to get through that gap.
Peter Stringer, 37th Test match now. Shannon Mann, who's played 36 of Ireland's last 41 Tests. Great servant, playing great rugby. Mendes, that's Alvarez again, but it wasn't great ball, and now here's Keith Wood. Keith Wood rampaging forward. He's got support from Quinlan. Quinlan's 5 metres short, and Quinlan gets there for Ireland. Well, it's an effervescent Emerald Ocean here in Adelaide as Ireland score the opening try of the game. But what wonderful work it was from Keith Wood. Alan Quinlan is injured in the act of scoring the try, and it looks nasty, but what a breakthrough for Ireland, Jimmy Salmon.
It certainly was. Now watch the dummy coming up from Wood, just there. That took out a couple of Argentinians, and Corletto, desperation tackle on Quinlan. But he gets the ball down, no problem at all, but he's injured his shoulder in the process. There he goes. Now he does actually ground it just before the line, but they've said momentum takes it over. Fair try. But let's hope that shoulder's not too badly damaged. Great break by the captain.
Shows the importance of having a raging potato in your side as David Humphries lands the conversion in the shadows of St Peter's Cathedral here in the city of churches, and Ireland lead by 7 points to 3. Still more to come in our Super World Cup Sunday, of course, as we watch the Quinlan try again. Stay with us here on ITV1, because following this match we'll head east to the Telstra Dome in Melbourne at 9:30 for the crucial pool seat dogfight between Clive Woodward's Pride of England and the dangerous physical Samoans. The website to itv.com/RWC, and the sad sight of Alan Quinlan leaving the field, having just scored for Ireland. And they lead by 7 points to 3 now. But Eddie O'Sullivan picked Alan Quinlan to do a specific job, a horses for courses selection, and now he's off.
Well, the key thing is Eric Miller's come on. We can't play open side, obviously, so Easterby's going to have to fill in at number 7.
Well, he has played at number 7 before, notably for Llanelli, but I know Eddie O'Sullivan does not like playing Eric Miller and Victor Costello in the same side together, and well, it has to happen now, doesn't it? And this is where you wonder if Keith Gleeson might have been the man on the bench.
Well, that certainly was the talk of the town before this game, because tactically they can't, well, they're going to struggle to play a wide game without a genuine open side. more importantly, Ireland kicked out on the full again there, which has given Argentina this line out deep in the Irish half.
Pichot, Martin, tackled by Stringer. Good drive by Martin. He's not a big man, but he's a strong one. Roberto Grau. Big drop forward. Pichot, Mendes takes on Wood and Stringer. Pichot, Martin. Ireland getting singed around the fringes just at the moment as Argentina demonstrate their power. And now it's Longo dropping the ball. He was almost through there. Advantage to Ireland. A crucial drop of the ball. I think maybe an Irishman just managed to nudge it out of his grasp.
Knock on blue. Green ball.
Yes, it was certainly in the tackle, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. Maggs didn't seem to touch him, Kevin Maggs there.
If he'd caught that, he was through.
And you too, man. Start in the hole.
Big scrum though. Big scrum. That's the try line, Irish try line. You can see at the top of your picture. And Hayes is still off.
Well, Argentinian front row, 3 huge breeze blocks.
Get it in, it was ready to go.
Stringer penalised for not getting the ball in quickly enough. And well, a bit of chit-chat as well. Now a very good scoring opportunity here for Argentina when you consider the strength of this pack.
I thought that, yeah, it's all hands to pump now. They've got to be organised. Who's got which man? It looks like it's going to be a forward drive, not surprisingly.
Drive. The whole pack comes in behind it to support and drive. Ireland doing well to defend it at the moment. There's the ball. Taking plenty of time to decide what to do was Reggiardo. Paul O'Connell with an important tackle. Use it, says the referee. So Pichot goes wide. Here's Quesada, and it's Horgan with the interception. Now Brian O'Driscoll, and that is a very good tactic by Brian O'Driscoll. He wants the ball to stay in play here. Oh, it's a pity that actually, because steaming up on the outside was David Humphreys, but massive relief of pressure there.
It certainly was. Good first up tackling, good decision by O'Driscoll. But once again, we saw the lack of creativity from the Argentinian side. Once a couple of drives don't work, they just don't look as though they know what to do next.
We've got news from Ned Boulding on the touchline regarding John Hayes.
Yeah, it was Alan Quinlan, in fact, there as he came off a bittersweet moment, having just scored the try mark. It looks as though he's dislocated his shoulder. They're going to look at it then. But as you saw in that slow motion replay, it was the impact initially when he hit the deck, possible dislocated shoulder.
That's bad news for Alan Quinlan. Maybe we'll get some news on what exactly was wrong with Hayes. He's back on the pitch, of course, having recovered from that blood, but I thought there was some word on maybe an injury to him. So we'll not see Alan Quinlan again. Quesada.
We're over halfway in this first half, and I think Ireland could be suitably encouraged. In close test matches, you don't get many clear-cut chances to score. They've had one, they've taken it, and they've got their 7 points on the board, which is a huge upside for them. And the other upside for them is that Argentina still look bereft of ideas, I think, after 2 or 3 phases. Their tackling's been good, only problem is the scrummaging.
Malcolm O'Kelly. Humphreys, missing man in midfield. Brian O'Driscoll, now it's Dennis Hickey. Dennis Hickey, good step from him. He's gone through 3 tackles. Nunes Piasek doesn't look like good in defence, you know. I think he might gain some advantage from that later in the game. That's the 22. Stringer again. David Humphreys, he loves that little step inside. Sets the ball for Costello. Good attacking position this for Ireland. Humphreys moving to the left-hand side. Now he's going right again. And looking for the drop and goal, David Humphreys, but it's charged down. Here's Dennis Hickey. Might be able to create something from here. He's quick, he's jinky, he's good off both feet, he's hard to bring down. Gets the platform for the forwards. That was Horgan standing down half position. Brian O'Driscoll tries to turn the man over because the referee, I think, is playing advantage here to Ireland. Yes, he is. Costello burrows on again. And now there's a chance to move it wide here for Dennis Hickey, coming in off that left wing. It's good defence by Argentina. And really he's thrown the ball away there, Dennis Hickey, but the referee might just bring them back for no advantage, and that penalty to Ireland. A very kickable position.
Thank you. Straight over the top, blue. No advantage, green.
Straight over the top. Humphrey's already with his scrum cap off. Well, not scrum cap, his head guard off. To go for the 3-point. Now this is the charge down from the drop goal. And then it was Dennis Hickey who swept up and made a break to the right-hand side, but a good passage of play again. And you can see already that back line move off the line now, how much more creative Ireland were. Hickey got through a gap. So it's really encouraging signs for Ireland, I believe, because this game will, I think, be won in the last 10-15 minutes, and hopefully by that stage Ireland have got the ascendancy.
Well, I think they are weak defensively in the backs, with Nunes Piasek and also Orengo in midfield, Felipe Contepomi as well. So there are avenues through which Ireland can attack, and they're building this lead now in a very positive manner. Argentina 3, Ireland 10. And it is about taking opportunities, and Ireland have done just that. Argentina haven't really. You think of the time they've been inside the Irish 22 with rafts of possession, and they haven't turned it into points so far.
But they haven't made a clean cut break either, have they? Nobody's really got in beyond the Irish defence. I should add that this wind is not strong, but it's a good breeze, is in Ireland's favour, so they need to get some points up.
A lot of height from Gonzalo Quesada. That's Paul O'Connell. Should really have been trying to gather that ball cleanly. So it's an error again by Ireland. Again, blaming themselves for that mistake. Advantage going to Argentina. Pichot. They're really giving the Argentinians the chance to attack them. Pichot. Back to Quesada. The drop and goal from him. It's a squirty one, but it's there. And Ireland should hang their heads in shame. It's simple. It's a simple restart. It's about collection. It's about using the ball, and they've allowed Argentina to come within 4 points.
And Quesada will be quite happy doing this all day. He wanted to strike it a bit better than that, obviously, and he sees how lucky he is with that drop goal attempt. But it's 3 points on the board. But as you say, it was rather gifted by Ireland. They just scored 3 points, and the last thing they wanted to do was give Argentina the opportunity to come back at them.
Yes, it was wrapped in
wait till he comes down, just a matter of timing.
That 3 points. And Ireland equalised again straight away. Easterby,
just the timing.
This time, taking the player off his feet. I think it was O'Connell, actually.
Yep, he should know better. Big ask of Easterby now, though, isn't it? To play open side, he's going to have to play that exclusively. He won't be able to chop and change because obviously Miller and Costello can't help out in that department.
Easterby now with Rotherham, the former Llanelli back row forward. Played in that extremely successful Llanelli club side that reached a couple of Heineken Cup semi-finals.
Here we go. Okay, time on.
So you just hope that with that Alan Quinlan injury, the Eddie O'Sullivan game plan hasn't gone awfully awry, and in days to come he'll regret the way he planned his bench.
But when Ireland have the ball, they're playing the game at a different pace to the Argentinians. It's much quicker, it's much sharper, it's much more urgent. Whereas the Argentinian play is very static. There's nobody really coming on with power or pace, or looking really to have the ability to beat men on the outside.
Third Rugby World Cup for Mendes, and that's a poor throw into the line-out, but closing the gap, Ireland.
And the 15 is fine.
Pichot takes it quickly. Ireland must stay 10 here. Easterby keeping an eye on his man. Now it's Orengo. He's hit hard by Horgan. 15.5 stones of Irish right wing. But Argentina winning it back well. Contepomi, Federico Mendes. He steps and straightens. Costello brings him down. Good hands from Martin. Wanting quick ball. Ireland doing their well to prevent the release. And the quick recycling. Pichot once more to Quesada. Contepomi. That again is a little bit static from the Argentinians. Mags in with the tackle.
Sorry. No, you were putting by the
Once
number
again,
4
good
blue.
defence.
That's why I said a scrum.
Kevin Maggs, one of them. Orengo going in, and this is Horgan's tackle. I've lined you up. Ooh, lovely.
25 years of age, Horgan. Was played in the centre, of course, for Ireland as well as on the wing back after injury. Gonzalo Quesada down injured. If he had to go off with a shoulder problem, I imagine that they would bring Conte Pomi from inside centre to about half, and Martin Gaetan would no doubt be the replacement for Conte Pomi in midfield. Gaetan, who has probably been Argentina's player of the tournament so far, and a real attacking force.
Okay. If he slips his bind again, let me know. Number 3. If we don't,
That was Andre Watson talking to Paddy O'Brien on the touchline to let him know what happens on this near side.
Ireland under a bit of pressure in that scrummage, as you would expect. That's Alvarez and Loba together. Retaining possessions, was it? Yeah, that's okay. It's out, says the referee. Watson lets it go. Stringer to Humphreys, had time to think and pick his spot and gain huge yardage, and once more they can breathe the sigh, the Irish defence.
Well, the Argentinian forwards made a few more yards that time, but Ireland weathered it. You can see that window I was talking about on the touch judge's flag there. That's Paddy O'Brien. No, it's not. It's Nigel Whitehouse on this side. Beg your pardon. They're frustrating the Argentinians, I think, which is good news for Ireland.
Rimas Alvarez, his 18th appearance for Argentina, takes the ball at the front of the line, and now it's Longo backing into the Irish defence. Good work from the forwards. We know it's their strength. There's Roberto Grau. He's tackled by John Hayes. Pichot to Quesada. Big numbers out wide here for Argentina. The short ball to Rolando Martin. Tackled by Brian O'Driscoll. Inside the Irish 22. Slow ball though for Argentina again, which is good news for Ireland. It gives them a chance to reorganise. Here's Mendes. It is getting a little bit predictable from the Argentinians around the fringes, but they're going to win the penalty. Hands off, said the referee. And Malcolm O'Kelly didn't listen to Andre Watson's advice. An easily kickable position this for Argentina, right in front of the post.
It was 50-50, I thought, because Mendes was certainly holding on as well. Kelly came in on his feet. He didn't go diving in, because Mendes was a bit isolated. He certainly didn't have 2 or 3 of his colleagues there, but it's gone against them. And it must be a no-risk policy that Ireland implement in this area of the pitch, because this is bread and butter to Quesada.
See exactly what Argentina are doing. They're using their big men to run straight and pile drive around the fringes and through this Irish midfield. Not to be expected neurophysics from the Argentinians today. Quesada slots it. And there's only 1 point between them now, 10 points to 9. Remember, Alan Quinlan is off, the Irish try scorer, with what we think is a dislocated shoulder.
Ireland quick to the restart. Very quickly, Humphrey was there. Let's get on with it. Change the pace of the game.
They've got to cut down the error count of Ireland, taken by Longo. Pichot, Quesada. Brutus Gonzalo Quesada. Second season with Bezier now, the Argentinian out half. So many Pumas playing that part of the world, and there's Eddie O'Sullivan, the Ireland coach. 6+1 took over from Warren Gatland. They just signed a new 4-year contract as Eddie O'Sullivan. That was won by Eric Miller at the front of the line out this time for Ireland. Stringer.
There was no resistance, that's why they've gone off. It's fine.
Keithwood has already made 1 break through this Argentinian defence. That was a good tackle this time from Ostiglia, and they've driven Ireland off the ball.
On the ground, first the man with a foot, then 6 went down in the ruck.
That's Easterby. Simon Easterby, who's playing open side now, but Keithwood got a bit isolated. But there was 2 Irishmen there making the platform. But suddenly there's 2 or 3 Argentinians. There wasn't the backup there for Ireland, and they paid the price.
They're also standing very high, the 2 Irishmen who came in Pretty easy then to push off the ball by this huge Argentinian pack. Not the most mobile pack in the world, but they are bruisers. Marcelo Lafreda, 46 times capped for Argentina himself, the Argentinian coach with the San Isidro club. And there's the well-travelled Federico Mendes, played in 2 Heineken Cup winning teams with Northampton and Bath, and also a Currie Cup winning side with Natal. So plenty of trophies in the cabinet for Federico Mendes.
He's okay, let's play.
Pichot,
Let's go back, please.
I think
Keep
again,
going. You're all right. Yeah, number 9 gone. Let's go.
a little bit of treatment. Referee wants play to go on. That's Alvarez. Pichot seems to be okay. Got a bit of a damage to his elbow there. It's taken by Ostiglia, driven on by Longo. And they've broken off the ball brilliantly well there. That's Ostiglia. It was Peter Stringer who made the tackle. Again, deep inside the Ireland 22. Roberto Grau was going to pick it up, leaves it for Martin. He looks at the options. There aren't too many there, but again, gaining yards around the fringes. Argentina. Quesada at scrum half. Pichot at out half. In comes Arengo. Tackled by Malcolm O'Kelly, but Arengo manages to spring out of it. And now here's Pichot. Conte Pomey, a bad pass behind him. And that was dreadful to Nunes Piosek. And maybe that's why they keep it so tight.
Certainly the main reason. They do struggle getting the ball through the hands. Wasn't massively technical, to be frank with you. It's a poor pass.
Okay, we're playing on.
The danger signs for Ireland. That forward pack is beginning to gain good yards now.
Play on. Coach in.
Kelly missed a tackle in there. He's normally very effective at bringing men down. Keith Wood to the tail. That's Easterby this time. Still without Quinlan, they do have plenty of options in the line out Ireland. Humphreys finds touch, and Ned Bolding has more news on the condition of Alan Quinlan.
Yes, Mark, sadly he's left the ground now. He's on his way to a local hospital, and there he's going to be x-rayed for that suspected dislocated shoulder. So it looks one way or the other very bad for him.
Yeah, it looks like he's out of the tournament with an injury like that. Taking the tail by Alvarez, but sloppy ball for Pichot. Has to do some cleaning up. He's normally very good at that, actually. Pichot, dealing with dirty ball is one of his specialist areas. And Dennis Hickey, well, that was poor Maradona skills from Nunes Piosek. Now it's a bit of a nothing kick, really, from Ignacio Corleto.
Well, a bit of ping-pong. Wasn't the best either, but Dempsey's done the right thing and put it into the Argentinian half. The slower the pace of this game, the more the Argentinians will like it. It's important Ireland keep the momentum, keep increasing this tempo.
Mendes in the front, that's beautifully worked. It's Alvarez looking for support, gets it from Mendes. Little bit isolated Mendes, he's on his own, but it's good ball presentation by him. Now can they get width? They've got 2 men on the outside. Piosek came into the line. Here's Coleno with the step. That's Maggs with a tackle, but one was missed. Arengo clears the ball out. Quesada to Grau, and here's Longo, tackled by Horgan. Good rugby by the Argentinians. Albanese, he is a dart. And it's a penalty for, I think it was maybe holding on. It was indeed from Argentina. Well spotted by the referee. He certainly didn't give the Argentinians very long to release the ball, but more warning signs for this Irish side.
Very much so. Kevin Maggs with a desperate tackle. It was David Humphreys trying to do a different clearing kick.
Take it 5 meters to the left of the mark.
The referee's pulled them back.
Here's the mark.
Don't say it's going to be a scrum to Argentina because he's not on the mark.
We spoke about this.
that.
You can't take it there.
Yeah,
I also want to play it fast, but not illegally.
Ireland know that they don't want to get sucked into the Argentinian type of game, and that's happened so often in the past in matches between these two sides, and it's one of the reasons why Argentina has become the Ireland bogey team.
Yeah,
it ends up as a slugfest, and Ireland, well, they end up slowly submerging.
Well, the signs are they don't want to get into that. Because Hickey does a marvellous left-footed clearing kick. But overall, I think Ireland can be reasonably encouraged by this first half. They know they can break through this Argentinian backline. They've just got to get some quality ball in order to do so. Because I think Argentina in the second half, they're just going to use this win and play what I call bottom third rugby. Bottom third of the Irish half and wait for mistakes.
O'Connell to Stringer. Humphreys. Can Ireland find a breakthrough before half-time? And there's another handling error by Ireland. Victor Costello from the pass by Maggs. This is Reggiardo. Help coming from Lobba. Tee shot to Quesada. He's putting some pretty poor kicks as Quesada in this first half. And that is half-time, says Andre Watson. Well, Ireland have the lead. They've scored the only try of the half. It came from Alan Quinlan thanks to a break by Keith Wood. But it's going to be one titanic second half here in Adelaide. Ireland 10, Argentina 9.
England, Samoa still to come this morning. We've got a little beauty on our hands at the Adelaide Oval where Ireland lead Argentina at half-time by 10 points to 9. Let us rejoin Jamie Salmon and first of all Mark Robson.
Well, this is the home of Sir Donald Bradman. He scored 3 double test centuries on this ground, and you would think, Jamie Salmon, in the second half that Ireland are going to have to start playing a few shots.
Well, they certainly are, but I still think they can afford to be patient. I don't think they should rush into it. I don't think they should go or press any panic buttons too early. They're 1 point up. Obviously, Argentina will be desperate, lose this and they're gone. But they've got to be very controlled, Ireland, but at the same time, they've got to play the game at their pace. Don't get sucked into these Argentinian drives and mauls and slowing the game down, and this one-dimensional pace that Argentina have to their game. But Argentina, to be fair to them, did finish that first half very, very strongly. The wind, if anything, has got up, which is going to please Argentina, and this man in particular with the ball, Quesada, who's kicking out of hand, will probably improve. So he will kick deep very early and try and put pressure on the Irish.
And of course they've got 2 big kicking out halves in that side. Felipe Conde-Pomey as well has played most of his international rugby at number 10. That's taken by Shane Horgan. That's more like it from the restart. He did that the way O'Connell should have done it in the first half, just before Quesada dropped the goal. David Humphreys clears, and it's a good kick by David Humphreys. In the first half, 59% of possession to Argentina, 57% of the time Ireland spent in the opposition territory. But Ireland missed 15 tackles in that opening 40 minutes. But I'm sure Eddie O'Sullivan has talked in particular maybe to the back row in that half-time interval, just to make sure they've got the organisation right there.
Absolutely critical, because they know they're going to have to make a heap of tackles, and they've got to know where the Argentinian runners are going to be coming from. And this is a typical type scenario from Argentina.
Show Quesada, and out very, very quickly was Easterby, with a penalty has gone anyway against Paul O'Connell.
Doesn't matter when you're alone. Do it immediately or don't do it at all. Okay.
And pretty much anywhere, you know, around halfway, 52, 53 metres from here on in, it's going to be kickable for Quesada with this strengthening breeze at his back.
Well, I'm just waiting to see what decision he makes here. He's going to have a go. Just backing up your point entirely. Even though it's from just beyond the 10-metre line, he's going to have a pop at goal, and he knows this wind has got stronger. So Ireland also know that anything in their half, he's going to have a pop. And what they don't want is this guy to have a golden day when he places the ball on that sand.
As he did in Lens 4 years ago. 100% so far. 2 penalties. Drop goal. Quesada, has he got the distance? Well, he's missed 4 kicks now in this Rugby World Cup, so he is a human being after all. But this game developing into, as I said, a slugfest. Ireland had a pep talk before the World Cup from marvellous Marvin Hagler, and that's that sort of guy they need now.
Well, they shouldn't need any motivation because they know the consequences if they don't win this, but that's a great example there.
Great hands by O'Connell. Stringer to Humphreys, into the wind, so keeping the ball low, end over end, rolling it in. A good kick, good tactical kick by David Humphreys. A little bit like a links golfer there, punching it low.
But they've got to be very conscious of keeping the pace, their pace. Nobody else's pace, their pace. And I just want to see them up the ante a bit. Back their fitness, back all the work they've done, everything that's been in the bank at the training camps and all the rest of it.
Taken by Alvarez, done some good work in the line-out for Argentina, has the Rimas Alvarez, the lock forward who could also play in the back row in his third season at Perpignan. Played in the Heineken Cup final this season. That's Gonzalo Quesada, the thunderboot at out half for Argentina.
Now Ireland going right to left here. Humphreys is obviously a right-footed kicker. Be interesting tactically what they do. Even though it's their own half, I suspect it'll be somebody like Costello, who's not in the line-up, going up the middle and trying to work it from there.
Costello standing at the moment between the two centres, taken by O'Kelly. Here's Humphreys to Kevin Maggs, who steps. Easterby is first there. This is Stringer. Eric Miller. Eric Miller breaks two tackles, one of them Reggiardo's despairing fling of the hand. Now can Ireland break through? Here's Brian O'Driscoll, so heavily marked these days in international rugby. Arengo made a good tackle, but Argentina, they've managed to rip it away. Well, there's some powerlifting types in there in that Argentinian pack, and it's Orlando Martin. He doesn't look that big, but he gets through a lot of work. He's got strength in those forearms. Pichot to Quesada, now width, looking to move it through the hands. Big forwards out wide. It's Alvarez who sets it, and now it's the winger who gets it wide, Albanese. Orlando Martin knocks forward, advantage to Ireland.
Not their game, is it? They just don't look comfortable. Even an open side flanker. Wasn't much pressure on him. That's perfect for Ireland, absolutely perfect. There he goes, look, it's in the breadbasket, takes the eye off the ball. Golden rule, do that, and you'll come second. Right, Irish scrum, what can they do from here?
Pretty good field position this for Ireland. John Hayes doing a good job there at tight head this time. Here's David Humphreys, and he's easily wrapped up by Quesada and by Rolando Martin. Indecision by the Irish out half. Now Costello, he can get nowhere. The Argentinian tackling is good. O'Driscoll, Keith Wood on the ball, well, just nudged out of his arms there. The tackle by Conte Pome.
Lucky break. Piasek had the chance to really clear downfield for Ireland, following that knock-on by... Well, the ball seemed to go forward from Keith Wood, so in some ways this is the ball here. Perhaps it was ripped out of his arms by Felipe Contepomi, but that was the opportunity there to put it down there, but just inside the Argentinian half. Another opportunity for Ireland.
Keith Wood to O'Connell, good tap to Stringer. Kevin Maggs. Stringer. Humphreys, that's one for Horgan and Humphreys to chase, but it's not a good kick. It goes straight into the arms of the fullback Corletto. These little nudges over defences so rarely work these days. Argentina come away with the ball, but not finding touch. Here's Dennis Hickey, a little bit of space to run here. Albanese is back for the Pumas. He decides to run, but not that far. And again, the wind behind. And gaining 25 or 30 metres, and Ireland making a few too many errors at the beginning of this second half.
Humphreys' kicking game not quite working at the moment. And Maggs has had a couple of goes, been stopped. Let's go one wide. Let's try and get the ball into O'Driscoll's hands early. Let's get Dempsey in. Let's get Hickey working off his wrong wing. Those are the sort of aspects of play I'd like to see from Ireland.
I think it was O'Kelly, not too far away from Willie John McBride's record Number of caps for a second row forward now is O'Kelly. Here's Stringer, Keith Wood. Looked sharp in that first half when he created that try for Alan Quinlan. David Humphreys, Dempsey, Hickey steps, support from O'Connell if he needs it. Gets through a couple of tackles. One of them was despairing from Phelan. Here's Peter Stringer, blindside for Humphreys. Again, there was no room down there. Stringer. There's Kevin Maggs at standoff this time. Stringer gets it all the way to Brian O'Driscoll. Keith Wood, Shane Horgan, big man, strong runner.
Just need a bit more pace on the ball. Shane Horgan trying to flip it out of his right hand to Keith Wood. Pressure's to the room down there. Touchline side.
Let's play. He's got to help. Carrying on.
So Stigley is the man who's injured. Played all 3 matches of the Rugby World Cup in 1999.
Get the ball in. I see him. It doesn't matter. Solania. Let's carry on.
Played a lot of rugby with Quesada, Sculcho. Martin Sculcho was on the bench. The Hindu club. That's Longo, but he makes the mistake this time, and Ireland come away with the ball through Easterby.
Knock on in the line out.
Bumping there between John Hayes and Longo, I think it was.
Break up. Are you all right? Okay. There we go. Check out Vine.
You don't need 2 of them at you though, do you?
It's not a bad scrummage by Ireland. They've held the Argentinians, and that's Costello. Malcolm O'Kelly getting it available for Ireland for David Humphreys. He's even kicked that one again. Too much on it.
Well, I don't want to try and be too clever about this, but I was beginning to question his kicking game. It wasn't working for him. It was too easy for Coletto, the Argentinian fullback. He's just got to really think deep now. He's got to come off this field more mentally tired than physically tired, David Humphreys, today.
That's Longo. Malcolm O'Kelly almost getting his hands on the ball. In goes O'Connell. Pichot to Quesada. I think Conte Pombe was offside there. In comes Dempsey. Danger for Ireland here. It's Dennis Hickey in defence. No obstructions as the referee, even though O'Kelly did get in front of his man, but play on. Brian O'Driscoll, thrashing kick from him, but fails to find touch. This is Albanese. That's good news for Argentina, but taken quickly by Peter Stringer to David Humphreys. Oh, if Albanese gets him here. Humphreys. There was pressure all over Humphreys there, and he did well to escape.
Did well in the end. They certainly did not want to line out a yard from their own line, so well done Peter Stringer and well done Humphreys for the clearing kick. It's made a lot of yards as well, but it's Argentinians' pace dominating at the moment, isn't it? Ireland are not playing the game at their pace. I thought that might have gone forward off an Argentinian hand, but it didn't, according to the referee, and that's what counts. But Ireland have got to up the ante. Somehow they've got to up the ante.
Alvarez takes on the line out. Good percentage of return for Alvarez. Longo now driving. And this game has become just the type of game that Ireland did not want it to become. Argentina must be delighted with the way things are going. Well, the ball was out. That's turnover ball for Ireland at last. John Hayes goes down. Here's Costello. Mendes with a tackle. Alvarez there too. Mendes getting a shoeing. Stringer inside the 22. David Humphreys.
The problem is Ireland now kicking it out, and Argentina, to be fair to them, which hasn't been a common theme throughout this World Cup, are winning their line-out ball. And players like Longo, the number 8, who is very impressed with ball in hand, does get across the gain line and making some yardage.
may not be exciting to watch as Alvarez wins another ball, but it's real rugby driven on by Lobby. Augustin Pichot, now they might move it, they've got numbers out wide here. Conte Pomi to Piasek, good tackle by Hickey, now Mags. Advantage to Ireland. Hume had knocked the ball forward. Dempsey. And he's over. Having a go, he's pretty quick. Inside the Irish half. Eventually tackled. Here's Alvarez. He hands off Shane Horgan. Pichot. Quesada looking to dart down the blind side, but wise to that was Easterby. Pichot. Pomi, and the mark taken by Dempsey. Wasn't a great kick by Pomi, in fact it was a dreadful one. Now here's Dennis Hickey. Oh, good dummy by Dennis Hickey. Up to the halfway line, support inside from Humphreys. Needs to use Humphreys. Decided not to. It was a little bit late for Dennis Hickey in the end. The initial work was superb, but the supporting runner was there.
They've done the hard bit in so many ways. This is what I mean about changing the pace. Argentina not organised in defence, he's against forwards. That's what you want, that's great odds. There's Humphreys, ball in now. Takes on the last man, and then, as an afterthought, into Humphreys. But much better from Ireland. And let's not forget, Ireland is still winning by 1 point.
It just doesn't feel like it. Ronan O'Gara is warming up down below.
You go straight. Engage. Yes, let's go. Stay bound, Dave. Stay bound.
Look at
not bound,
the front of that Irish scrummage there. Down in a heap was Reggie Corrigan. And suffering as a result.
The next one isn't.
Argentina getting the penalty.
Well, it was against Costello for detaching from the scrum and kicking the ball in. Andre Watson's been very consistent today in terms of injured players on the field. He has just said, get on with the game. He's being treated. This is the scrum in question. And Corrigan's already down before he actually went down. There seemed to be certainly a fist coming through from the second row.
Yeah, the damage was done to his head before the scrum went down, which would suggest to you that perhaps he's taken a dig in the face from some nasty puma.
Well, as he's been down for some time, the referee is obviously checking on his condition now.
Ireland have to maintain their discipline. On comes number 21, Ronan O'Gara, off the bench against Romania. Kick to conversion, started against Namibia. 14 points there, it's 36th cap now. And David Humphreys, Ireland's most cap out half of all time and top point scorer, retires to the bench.
You must surmise, therefore, that Eddie O'Sullivan was not happy with the way Humphreys was running the game or his kicking game. He may have a knock, I may be wrong, he may have just done 10 minutes after. 10-15 minutes after half-time to see if he could shake it off. But they certainly want this man Corrigan to get back on his feet, and thankfully he is.
Well, to be fair, it does happen a lot. Humphreys for O'Gara, O'Gara for Humphreys. Almost interchangeable. The crowd, 28,803. Reggie Corrigan leaves the pitch, so Marcus Horan will come back on for a second spell.
Open the gap.
To the front, didn't look straight, but taken by Lobbe. It wasn't 5 anyway. So a free kick to Ireland.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
Not giving them the ball, that's what the extra 10 was for.
Stringer. That's O'Connell with Easterby. O'Kelly drives over the top. Now O'Gara wasn't a great pass from Stringer because O'Gara had to take it behind him. You want to be running onto the ball. Turnover, advantage, knock on. That's not good from Ireland. Again, they've made the error. They've given the ball away. Win behind for Argentina, and that's what's going to happen to you every time.
Well, it wasn't the best way to enter the game for O'Gara. As Lafreda, the Argentinian coach, looks on.
Marvellous technician. Here's Quesada. Well, that's well taken. O'Gara under pressure from Pichot. And that pressure putting O'Gara off just enough, so he missed touch. Here's Corletto having a drop at goal. Remember, win behind, and it's accurate. It's fabulous from the fullback, who puts his nation into the lead here in Adelaide. 12 points to 10 as we approach the final quarter.
Well, this absolutely sailed over. Straight as a die, even cleared the dead ball area, and I'm afraid O'Gara paid the price for missing touch. Pass in field from Albanese, and Coletta lined it up and absolutely stoked it through.
And you can see how delighted they were. They know it's going to be that type of game, a low-scoring game. It's real toe-to-toe stuff out there. It's not so much Muhammad Ali as Joe Frazier. There's not a lot of dancing feet.
Eddie O'Sullivan. Looks concerned, and he's got every reason to be concerned. Quesada typically straight back down there, Ireland. If you want to score from 70 yards, here's your chance.
At the moment it's like being stuck in a time warp here. It feels like lost 4 years ago. The way it's going. Long way to go though, still 20 minutes. That game in Lawrence, Ireland had a 12-point lead at one stage and still managed to lose. 2 points adrift now. It's O'Gara, advantage to Ireland. That's Marcus Horan on for the injured Reggie Corrigan. And no hand, says Andre Watson.
You can't play the ball when you're on your knees.
Can't play the ball on the knees. Very clear. I mean, he has been very clear in telling the players exactly what he's giving the penalties for, Andre Watson, as you'd expect from a man who's refereed a World Cup final.
Ronan O'Gara, 20 minutes or so to impose his authority on this game. But tactically, Ireland have got to get it right. I still think they should go wide. I think they should drag these Argentinian forwards across the pitch. I just don't think catch and drives are going to work. I'm not convinced either they should rely on a penalty.
Goes to O'Connell at the tail. Stringer to O'Gara. Kevin Maggs again breaks through that rather weak midfield defence of the Argentinians. You think they should have done a lot more of that. Now it's Eric Miller. A very good field position now for Ireland. Peter Stringer to O'Gara. Brian O'Driscoll, well brought down by Nunes Piasek. No hands, says the referee. Hands were in from the Pumas.
Listen,
and it's kickable for Ireland. And Keith Wood is now injured, and I think the Argentinians are making sure they get a few pops in those tight positions. I may be wrong.
Maybe, don't know.
Sorry?
That's the instant going down there. There's Wood, number 2. Mind you, he had a bit of a go first by the looks of that one, right in front of the eyes of Andre Watson, although he got one back for his troubles. But the pace of that attack was what we were after from Ireland. It upped the ante. It was quicker. It was fast. It was furious. Thanks to Maggs, to be fair. Broke through the gain line. 2 or 3 tackles missed. Quick ball. Keep it going. Keep them moving. Keep Argentina having to look up. Where's it gone?
Well, he's powering through those gaps like a linebacker as Kevin Maggs, and it's exactly the right tactic. Marengo, Conte Pome in midfield. The best tacklers in the world. Here's O'Gara. Crucial kick for Ireland. And it's wonderfully well struck from O'Gara. A noted kicker under pressure. Remember his drop goal to beat Wales in the final moments of the Six Nations, and he saved Munster's skin on many an occasion in the Heineken Cup matches over the years.
Well, you can just tell by those pictures how passionate this game is and what it means to so many people.
There's a World Cup quarter-final place at stake. Great hands by O'Connell. Have Ireland found their rhythm, and much will that help them settle? Here's O'Gara inside the 22. And he's mistouched, doing a Humphreys, and Longo brings in the drop goal expert Corletto, but he kicks the ball away. Miller. Stringer. O'Gara. Let's make sure this time, surely. There's a moment of confidence.
Third time lucky.
But it's better from Ireland. It's going to be an Argentinian put in. And every time they've run hard and straight at this Argentinian midfield, it has looked vulnerable. And then it's given the forwards a platform to build on. And Ireland have been able to work in behind it. Mendes, now they're making mistakes in the line-out. That's Longo. I think it's his first mistake out of touch. And here's Eric Miller. Good work from Costello at number 8. Peter Stringer. Can they work the oracle of midfield again? Kevin Maggs doing some good work. This is John Hayes. Ireland beginning to play better rugby.
Straight from the side.
Oh,
and
coming
shoulder.
in from the side.
And shoulder only. Use
Lack
arms.
of discipline. It's
Take your
O'Kelly, I
angle,
think,
please.
penalised.
Number 4.
Pity
To
they were
the
getting their
side,
momentum.
And no arms, just shoulder. Here you go.
It was O'Kelly that the referee has picked out, Andre Watson. There you saw the shoulder go in.
Well, I would say that, wouldn't I? As you say, there are a few punches going in. Keith Wood actually did throw the first one, that earlier ball, and then got what he deserved back. But there might have been some revenge in that after what happened to Reggie Corrigan in the scrummage, because of course Keith Wood would have watched it and seen it happening. That's what I like those football forwards, you know. And Ireland get it through Hayes. So will Argentina lose their concentration?
Coming back for the not straight into the line out from Mendes.
Not straight, green ball.
Now, although this is on the Irish 10-metre line, I would venture to suggest that they should still keep it in hand. I don't think their kicking game is good enough at the moment.
Well, O'Driscoll's having a word with Horgan on the right-hand side, as if something might happen. Get it in, get it out. That big Argentinian scrummage is not to be tampered with. Stringer, O'Gara, and yes, there is a move in midfield. Here's O'Driscoll, it's for O'Gara to chase, but it's a bad kick, another bad kick by Ireland. It's a dreadful 1-2 from Corletto, and he's given it straight back to Keith Wood. He's got support inside, support from Horan, the prop at pace. That's tremendous stuff from him. One quick ball here, Ireland. Peter Stringer, they've got to spin it. They've got to move it wide, Ireland here. That's O'Gara. Kevin Maggs trying to find a gap. Eric Miller's in support on the 22. It's scrappy ball though. Horgan driving hard. 15 stone of centre. Eric Miller. That's great support. Beautiful delivery of the ball to Stringer. Costello goes in there. It's good defence by Argentina, but it's no advantage to Ireland. Argentina are offside, and it's right in front of the post.
Well, Keith Wood caught the perfect high ball, but what a great run by Horan. What a run, what a step inside to take out Bishop. And the important thing is it's quick ball. That's the good thing, it's their pace of the game that Ireland are managing to do now. It all starts, I hasten to add, an appalling kick from O'Driscoll. However, it matters not. Keith Wood, come on, the shoulders are, you know, they're ruined to bits anyway. Now O'Gara. Crucial thing about this kick, of course, it's a 4-point lead, which means Argentina are going to play a bit, or rely on 2 penalties, obviously, but it's crucial from that point of view. They can't rely on a late kick from Quesada.
Three more points for Ireland. Little Lansdowne erupts. Ireland 16, Argentina 12. They're always close, the matches between the Pumas in Ireland. Only once has there been more than 10 points between them in a full cap international. Remember, still much more to come on our Super World Cup Sunday. Stay with us here on ITV1, because following this match we'll head east to the Telstra Dome in Melbourne, 9:30 AM for the crucial Pool C match between England and Samoa. On the website itv.com/RWC. The stringer waits for the ball, handed to him on a plate by Costello, and O'Gara, whose kicking has been mixed since he came on, but crucially he's landed a couple of penalties.
Well, we said this would go down for the last 10 or 15 minutes, and so it proves. Argentina now have got to do the thinking. Eddie O'Sullivan still very concerned, but probably obviously a lot happier the fact that he knows he's got a little bit of a buffer.
Easterby. Good work from the flanker. Hands off the ball, blue, but they turn it over again. Reggiardo gets it back to Loba. Now Mendes. Mendes for Martin. This is what they're good at, using the forwards. Quesada, bit of width. Here's Conte Pome, and now it's Orengo, and Orengo's tackled well by Brian O'Driscoll. Again, a lack of ideas in that Argentinian back line.
Ireland just lining them up. O'Driscoll being kept very much to defensive duties today. Must be desperate for a run. There he is, lined him up, drags him into touch, and that's fine for Ireland. That's fine. If they've made Argentina run the ball now because they're 4 points behind, that is manna from heaven for Ireland, I believe. So I think they've got the defence organisation is fine.
And now they're beginning to lose ball in the line-out. Look at Mendes chirping away. Not my fault, big fella, but you got to find your guy, and he didn't. And this is O'Gara. So Ireland turning that ball over, but another bad kick. They've really got to find their touches in those situations. Here's Corletto. Just putting Ireland under pressure, you see, from a simple mistouch. Here's Dempsey. Knocked forward by a Puma hand. I think it was Corletto as he came through.
Corletto's been good in his kicking insofar as he's never kicked it deep. He's always kicked it just outside the Irish 22, which means they can't call for a mark, and therefore puts them under greater pressure.
And he's also given himself a chance to follow through in the kick and get there before it lands, which is pretty important. Look at that scrummage again, but Costello, great work from Costello. What wonderful vision from the number 8. It was a real big drive on from the Argentinian back row, and that meant nobody was at home on the blind side.
What a fantastic kick. Fantastic kick deep into the Argentinian 22. Well, 10 yards into the Argentinian 22.
And Argentina have lost their last 4 lineouts, which is also a statistic of great encouragement for Ireland. Well, they've won that one, but just about. Grasped by Loba. It was aimed at Alvarez, though. So again, Mendes didn't find the man he was supposed to. Really knocked that forward. Dempsey.
Well, I can't honestly say Ireland have known exactly where the touchline is today with their kicking, because it's been either comfortably inside the line and in play, or just on it, as that was the case. Now Mendes under a bit of pressure, which is good.
Long goal. Tied up by Roberto Grau. Ferocious reputation as a scrummager. Quesada running into a bit of trouble. Advantage though to Argentina.
Can't play the ball while lying on the dig, but not beach ball. Here we go. It's on the dig and plays the ball.
Well, Andre Watson may be laughing, but this is not going to be a funny last 10 minutes for either side. The great thing is, if Ireland can play it inside, that was the hand from O'Kelly again. If they can play it in Argentinians' half, Argentina are not going to score a try from 50 yards, let alone 60, 70 or 80. I assure you of that, unless there's an intercept or something ludicrous like that.
Taken by Alvarez, who will be playing as rugby with Dan Luger, Dan Herbert and Frank Turner next season. Very highly rated second row forward. taken on by Grau, but he knocks forward, advantage to Ireland. Can they break from here? Here's Brian O'Driscoll, he steps, looks for support. That's great play by him. Marcus Horan's had a good game since he came on in the loose, but they've turned the ball over. Costello doing his best. Nunes Piasek, Corletto gets outside one man. Support outside is Alvarez. Fortunately for Ireland, it's a second row forward, so they should be able to outpace him. And that's John Hayes, who wins the ball back for the men in green. 9 minutes to go, 4 points between the sides. O'Gara. Again, his best touch, but it's worked this time. But Albanese takes it quickly and intelligently. Stringer could have had him there. Dempsey. Cool heads are required across the pitch now from Ireland.
Cool thinking heads, and it probably wasn't the right time for O'Driscoll to have a dart up the middle. So they got away with it. 7 minutes, says Andre Watson.
Martin Skelzo, the gargantuan, squarely built prop forward, comes on. Oh, he's a hard man. Is Skelzo. Reggiardo is being replaced. And trying to out-strummage Skelzo is just trying to bring down a block of flats with a rubber hammer. Alvarez. Longo. Keith Wood with a tackle.
Hands off Green, hands off!
Hands off Green, it's going to be a penalty to Argentina. It's a kickable position. That's Ireland's 10-metre line. They've got to show discipline now. This final 8 minutes is absolutely crucial.
Well, he might argue that he's on his feet, but he's certainly putting it in doubt. There's got to be a no-risk policy. And quite rightly, good decision by Pichot, go for goal. Plenty of time to get the winning one, if need be.
One thing you do know with Andre Watson, he will not let anything go, and he's pretty quick on the whistle.
But let them have the ball. Argentina aren't exactly breaking through at will, or looking as though they've got some speedster who's going to go the length, or a guy who's going to jink 4 guys and score a wonder try. Let them have the ball. Say, come on, okay, if you create something from 40-50 yards out and score, good on you. But it hasn't happened for 4 years.
Eddie O'Sullivan says they've got the best back three in the world.
Quote of the World Cup, that was.
Quesada. Oh, it's good, it's good. He is an iron man when the heat is on. 1 point between the sides, and the rate of angina attacks in Ireland rises as the temperature increases here in Adelaide.
As does the pressure. As the saying goes, you can't practice pressure. And Quesada just takes it all in and keeps Argentina well in this match. 1 point.
Contipome. But Ireland still lead. Quesada. He really should have been caught there, because he was indecisive. He took too much time. Back goes Morgan. Dempsey. Dempsey, 5 tests on the wing, 31 times capped at full back. Man of the match the last time these two sides met. It's Longo, Gonzalo Longo. He was an injury doubt for this game, the Narbonne number 8. And they've lost it again. Knocked forward by an Argentinian hand, so Ireland get the advantage. Mendes throwing has become ragged. Albanese, the referee says that's the end of the advantage, and Albanese's in trouble here. Morgan can't get hold of him, but Malcolm O'Kelly does. It's just outside the Argentinian 22. Skelton was in to clear it out. Ball was out, says the referee, so Keith Wood was okay doing what he did. And again, so that's great work from Keith Wood. Tremendous stuff from the skipper, using the laws to the Irish advantage, but now they've given the ball away. Well, it is very topsy-turvy in terms of possession at the moment, each side giving the ball back to the other, which simply adds to the tension here in this Adelaide Cricket Oval. 5 minutes to go, Ireland 16, Argentina 15.
Well, the referee said the ball was out. Pichot claims to have been poleaxed in the face, which wasn't the case at all. He's up and about again, looking for attention, I believe.
Keith Wood. Oh, now he's missed his man, but the referee's going to give the penalty to Ireland.
Right across and playing him without the ball.
Playing the man without the ball, coming across the line out.
I'm not sure he needed to with the way that throw was going, to be perfectly frank with you. Right, now, Keith Wood, captain. O'Gara, please put me bottom right of the pitch, I suspect. I think it's too far to go to goal.
Okay.
They had a thought about it. They're going for touch. Bottom right. Keith Wood already looked at O'Kelly and O'Connell about the line-out options from that, and the presumption that he's going to find touch.
And the presumption that Keith Wood doesn't throw the ball in like he did the last one in this, the home of the boomerang, and that was a boomerang throw.
I wouldn't say it's running down the clock time, but as Eddie O'Sullivan looks on, it's along those lines, isn't it?
And when in doubt, go to the front of the line out. So that was a good decision. Paul O'Connell, who's jumped well in this game, certainly as the match has developed, and he's gained confidence. Here's Costello. Mendes, the tackler, managing to roll round the right way. That's so key. So the ball is on the Irish side. Here's O'Gara. O'Gara to O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll outside his man. Great tackle by Rolando Martin. The man we said was done. Well, it was a match-saving tackle by Martin. Wasn't knocked forward by Peter Stringer. Almost a golden moment there. And now here's O'Gara looking to drop it goal. They're going to go wide. Mags, he knocks forward surely. Advantage to Argentina. It's Martin who gathers the ball. Mendes, Federico Mendes.
First off green, I'm going to go for the green. First off green, then blue.
Well, a pity for Ireland, because they're getting continuity in their play. Quesada's slow to get up. They need him on the pitch just in case, dare I say it. This is Mendes down the touchline. Costello with the tackle. It came off O'Kelly first, is what the referee said, so it is going to be an Argentina scrum. I still wouldn't be too perturbed from this distance if Argentina elect to run it. Looks like Ireland can hold them out quite comfortably. They're going to make a decision on Quesada. I suspect from his point of view, he's going to hoist it pretty high into the box, just outside the 22, and rely on an Irish mistake there, or an Argentina scrum from that sort of position. I can't believe they're going to put it through the hands, but I have to say I'd be delighted if they did, because I can believe Ireland can cover that quite comfortably.
The last thing they wanted to do there, the scrummage collapsing on the loose head side. Here comes Pichot, Conte Pome, tackled by Mags. Wasn't a good tackle by Mags. Conte Pome sets the platform for his big pack. Got to let the ball go, Ireland. Must not give a penalty away there. It's the Ireland 10-metre line, 1 point between the two sides. And he was in the slot for the drop at goal, but advantage to Ireland as we enter the last minute. Away comes Keith Wood. Costello, advantage over, says the referee. On go Ireland. The support there from Marcus Horan. John Hay stays in his feet. Here's Peter Stringer. And now it's Dennis Hickey. Hickey out to Horgan. Shane Horgan. Good ball here for Ireland. Keeping it tight. Last 10 seconds of the game. Can you believe it? They want it back. They want it back again.
Stringer's got it. Stringer's got it.
Incredible. That's incredible. John Hayes goes in. Stringer once more. Here's O'Gara. Mags. Tackled by Nunes Biasek. Stringer, drop it goal, surely no. O'Gara goes wide. Here's Brian O'Driscoll. He steps. Argentinian 22. Stringer, oh dear. It's going to go to Argentina. Andre Watson checks his watch. Deep into injury time now. And there will be another play at least. So from an Argentinian point of view, they've got to win this ball and they've got to move it some 70 metres or get themselves into a position where they can kick a penalty or a drop goal. Remember, they have the wind behind. It's a good drive. Mendes it is there. The ball in possession. Pichot, Quesada, they've got to keep the ball alive, Argentina, and they know that. Here's Conde Pome, tackle missed. Corletto through the gap for Argentina. Support outside from Nunes Biasek. What a tackle by Gervin Dempsey. And it's the final whistle, and Ireland have revenged the defeat in Lords 4 years ago. The hearts were pumping hard, but now the party can start in Adelaide. And I tell you, it will kick off tonight here in this South Australian city. Jamie Salmon, relief all round.
Well, there's certainly relief from my left in the commentary box, I have to say. And well done, Ireland. They kept their composure in the end. They've got through, and they go next week to face Australia, the world champions, with a chance to win the group.
Ireland through to the quarter-finals. They've won here in Adelaide by one single solitary point, 16 points to 15.